Welcome to another CEO Wisdom Pod today with Ahmed Khanani. So Khanani, I
Khanani.
guess. Khanani,
Very
got that
close.
right. He is CEO at Purpose Path. Purpose Path is this cool growth agency. So we're gonna discuss about GTM tactics that Ahmed used for a bunch of his clients. We're gonna discuss as well about podcasting, one of my favorite topic out there. Ahmed got a cool background. It's not his first startup, and we were talking about the 43x founder on my side. Well, Ahmed started a whole bunch too, and I'm eager to discuss them. He also occupied cool positions at BMO, for example, Deloitte, and Entrepreneur First. We're going to discuss about that too. This pod, for those that want to start a pod, is brought to you by podpire.com. For those that also want to scale a podcast or find sponsors for their existing podcast, it can certainly be a tool to learn, to network with good folks like Ahmed, to grow your network as well, because you can get leads, you can get clients off a podcast. Podcasts are just amazing, and Ahmed will agree with me on that because he offers it as a service to podpire.com for that. Ahmed, can you tell us a bit more about yourself and about Purpose Path?
Absolutely. So thanks for the quick introduction there for myself. How I would describe myself at this point in life, someone who's just trying to, I would say, grow this growth agency even further. My background, as you mentioned, is coming in from a corporate side. I initially graduated in economics and basically a business degree from the U of T. Upon completion, I would say, had a traditional mindset of finding the ideal job within banking or consulting, and I completed both of that. During COVID, the realization came in that entrepreneurship is something that I should be testing out, considering the world is kind of uncertain. So if not now, when else will I get a chance to do it? And then I embarked on a journey with one of my really good friends to build Purpose Path. It was an idea that came in pre-COVID as well, but we never really actioned upon it. And COVID really brought us together and decided that this is the company that we want to build right now as a services business. Because it doesn't require us to come up with a revolutionary idea, because a lot of entrepreneurs do try to build out their ideal business based on a revolutionary product or business idea. We decided that if we pursue the route of just building something for the start and getting that momentum, it'll get us to at least the position where we can be successful entrepreneurs, if not just entrepreneurs. That's how Purpose Path came into being. So we started pretty much at the start of 2021. And at that point, the agency was just providing digital ads and web development services. And fast forward 2.5 years now, we are providing another set of services, which is towards social media growth, which can be towards search engine optimization, and the thing that we're doing right now, which is podcasting solutions.
Your clients, let's start with your ICP. Who do you target and what do you do specifically for each niche?
So when we started off, we did think that we should find a niche for ourselves. But both me and my co-founder, being, I would say, from generalist background, people who kind of are jack of all trades and specialists of none, we decided that we don't really know which industry can we fully find the success and winning formula for. So we decided to test our own, I would say, industries out. So we dove into a couple of different ones. We acquired clients for a couple of different industries, ranging from e-commerce to real estate to property management, and even towards professional services like accounting or lawyers. So to start off the business, we did dive into a bunch of different industries, and we are still present in a lot of different industries. So to date, right now, we've probably dove into 20 plus different industries. Right now, though, we are, I would say, if we were to go out and pitch a successful formula for any niche, I would say real estate would definitely be one, because we do have a ton of clients within real estate. And to your point on on our website, we do claim that we've generated over $26 million in revenue. Most of that is obviously because of real estate, because we do generate leads and new business for real estate companies, and those are high ticket transactions that we generate for them, which means that we, at the end of the day, are the reason why they've been able to generate those returns. So that's why real estate is a great niche that we've been successful in. Other niches, I would say, have been e-commerce, where we've been able to help clients generate tons of e-commerce online sales in different markets that they've been targeting. We don't have a product niches yet, but generally in e-commerce we've had some success. And the third niche I would say which we've had success is in professional services, uh, more specifically towards the legal side. It's a competitive industry, but we've been able to help a couple of good clients get their ground running really well. So I feel like this is an niche that we as Purpose Path have done well in.
Are we talking about Facebook ads here? Like, what is working for these niches?
To acquire them as our business or just helping them get business?
Both.
So I would say for them, we our main success has come from our efforts in search engine optimization and Google Ads. Facebook ads does guarantee success to a certain extent, but because the lead quality is so it varies quite significantly. For professional services, it can vary quite significantly, because if you work with a client who has a specific price point, then Facebook leads might not be the best quality leads that you may be able to generate. If you're going for an e-commerce business, maybe Facebook leads will be great because it's a competitive atmosphere, which means prices are not going to be something which are going to be a difference maker for a lot of these shoppers on Facebook. Um, for us on the other side, generating leads has most of our business has luckily come from a good referral network and a word of mouth. That's been one of our main areas of growth. We ourselves have also had good success with our own Google ad campaigns. Facebook ads haven't brought us the best results, and again, I would say it's because of us keeping a specific price point when we do want to bring on clients, because we do want to deliver high quality work, and high quality work does come at a certain price points which we've arranged for ourselves. And in that case, Facebook ads has not given us the best success. It has driven leads for us, it has driven inquiries. Our best would be prospects, but in terms of lead conversions, not the best.
My first agency was Facebook ads agencies for realtors down in Montreal. I think I scaled it to 30K MRR, and then I left, because these clients were not really loyal. There were tons of them. And
Yeah.
yeah, they were just like churning like crazy. Have you seen that with your real estate clients? And do you go mostly realtors, or do you go more on the real estate development and investor side of things?
That's a good differentiator, because I think my main focus is towards the developers, the builders, and the investors. That is definitely the better route to take if you're an agency, because in my personal experience, even if you build a niche for realtors, they are not the most loyal customers, as you just testified. They churn very fast, and I think even because I don't blame them. I think it's also the way their industry transforms very rapidly, and because there are so many realtors in the game now, it becomes very tough for even you to differentiate whether X realtor might be a good lead or a good business for you to help with. So I personally, I would say yes, Purpose Path has not found success with realtors. It has helped realtors in the past, and the ones which we have helped have received a good success rate from us. But we have gotten a lot of prospective realtors in our pipeline, but the conversion on that has been awful. And I wouldn't blame our sales or our process for it. I think it's just their industry is just pretty much like that.
Before becoming an entrepreneur, what did you learn from your time in the 9 to 5 world?
Well, a couple of things. My time at BMO, I would say, was not the biggest learner for me because I was still pretty young. For me at that point, it was just like I have a job and I want to just like do well and just see where this goes, because it was my first proper corporate job. So for me, BMO was just a learning curve into getting into like a world of work. Prior to that, I had done different jobs in retail or in small startups as internships or just like course related credit related matters, but nothing I would say to the point where it would be a professional environment in a corporate world. So BMO, I would say the learning part was just knowing that if I do well, I can get promotions, I can find success. I think that's the main thing there to learn, that as a young person, you just need to know how to network with people. And I think the main thing I learned there was that because I got that job through networking, because my I would say my education or my GPA would not have gotten me that job. So for me personally, I would say networking was the main thing that I learned from that job. the day-to-day work stuff was just something I was learning alongside with it. And it wasn't the biggest learning curve, but it was something challenging to a point where once achieved that challenge, I felt like I needed to move on to something bigger. And at that point, I decided to network my way through to find an opportunity at Deloitte, where I would say I learned the most amount of my things that I've applied in my entrepreneurial world. And obviously, most of the things are not applicable because the difference in the company sizes are so massive. But the way you want to become a leader, or the way you want to build teams, and if you're building an agency or a service-based business in anything, learning how to represent and work for clients is what I learned at Deloitte. I am a generalist, which means that I can't really, I'm not a super technical person, and I'm not a hardcore researcher. So for me, my specialty lies in handling and dealing communications, projects, and just people. So in that case, I think shaping your leadership qualities is what Deloitte taught me the most. And applying that into my agencies and my other endeavors has allowed me to become who I am today. And I feel there's still a lot of room to grow further into my leadership position, and that will come along the way as I grow my businesses.
I'm seeing also in your background, you occupied various cool positions that caught my attention. Tell me a bit more about Life First Pakistan and EIR at Entrepreneur First.
So those are two interesting, I would say, positions that came into my experience list. Life First Pakistan was basically an idea or a vision brought to me by a friend of mine who wanted to do something, I would say, impactful during the peak COVID times. We both were, we were three of us, and all three of us were in Canada, and we saw a significant, I would say, human and like human damages or human like deaths overall in Pakistan because of the rise in COVID cases. And that was around the world. But being Pakistani origin myself, we obviously had a soft spot for the people back home because those people are our friends and family, including as well. Canada at that point had a more controlled environment. So for us, it was like, how can we do something which impacts positivity in Canada and positivity in Pakistan? And at that point, we decided that we're going to build Life First as an initiative to raise funds and awareness for the damages that are happening in Pakistan, and donate those funds for the frontline workers who had been the main, I would say, heroes in the entire COVID year and a half to 2 year journey that we went through. So that was a fantastic experience for us. We were able to speak to some phenomenal organizations locally here as well as in Pakistan to bridge the gap on how both these countries can, like, aid each other in these matters. We also had some people around the US and UK who were from Pakistani origin and wanted to do something as well. So we basically brought people together to work towards the same initiative. So it kind of gave perspective that during COVID, as I went remote at my job in Deloitte fully, and I saw like I could collaborate with people anywhere in this world, this gave that same glimpse of hope that, you know what, now I can communicate, work, and execute anything and everything at the just sitting in my home office and connecting with people around the world. And that kind of gave me the push to that, okay, if I can run my job, if I can do a social work, and if I can even build up my own potential dreams and ideas or of businesses during just sitting in my house office, then I can possibly try to achieve the world with that. And that led me to quit my job at Deloitte to jump into entrepreneurship. Um, in 2022, another opportunity came my way, which is a VC fund slash incubator called Entrepreneur First. They're basically a global talent hub for aspiring and ambitious entrepreneurs who want to build either their first company, or they want to build their next company. They basically pool you together with the most talented people from across the country, and ask you to come and work with them for about 2 months in ideation phase to come up with an idea and eventually get that idea to a potential, I would say, investment pitch worthy MVP model, which will allow you to then pitch it to investors to get your pre-seed funding. So I went through that route where I was able to dive into a couple of different industries to see which is the next tech idea that I want to, or this next great product idea or tech company that I can potentially build. And I would say I was paired with some of the brightest minds that I came across in my age group, as well as like in similar age categories. And it was a great experience. I didn't end up going through the IC run because the idea that I wanted to build, my co-founder at that I would say cohort backed out and didn't want to basically pursue the idea the way I wanted to do. And that taught me the co-founder relationship dynamic, especially for a tech company where a business background CEO versus a technical background CTO can have significant differences in the way that they want to build a company. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the CEO who may have the best business vision can convince anyone and everyone that this is going to be the best product possible. I think it gives you a good reality of how you're supposed to communicate or lead people to believing in your idea. And if not, if they don't believe in it, how can you understand their perspectives or their ideas too? Because it might be equally valuable. So I think that's what it teaches me. And although I didn't go through the process of EF fundraising, I think even leveraging those contacts to date and meeting up with those people gives me honestly an idea a day. It's literally like that. So I'm always in that zone of creation or thinking out of the box, and I've applied a lot of those learnings into my current business as well.
I had that happen to me too. My first nootropic business had to split with my partner, which was also my best friend, still my friend up to this day, miraculously, because yeah, but he's a very sensible guy. I like him as a human being. He's definitely more virtuous than most humans and has high IQ, so we did a good combo, but life, it's sometimes it's circumstances. But yeah, philosophies, they might differ there, because my mentality is like never stop trying.
Yeah,
There's no plan B. It's just like, let's keep on trying, let's keep on A/B
like
testing.
that.
In 100 tests, we might have 3 successes, and if you don't try, how will you know? I mean, and once you change your relationship with pain, right? You understand that pain is value, and that it's full of insights, and you just keep on going and have your lab. And some days
Yeah,
you have really bad days, some days they're good, and you just roll with it. That's pretty much how it goes, and that's the life we chose. So yeah,
yeah,
picking a good co-founder is really hard, because yeah, even if they have the IQ, they might not have the EQ, and it just needs one value that you that might tear you apart eventually. One small deviation, and it
I agree.
long
Yeah.
term, it's a total tear. So yeah, I want to. Well, first, what do you think about that? I gave you like 4 major points here. What are your thoughts on that?
So honestly, like I respect the fact that like I think we do think quite similar when it comes to understand the relationship of a co-founder. The experience that you go through, if even if you're like in the phase of ideating with someone who may be a potential fit for a co-founder, or even if you're at a stage where you've built the company for a couple of years and now you're realizing that there's a difference in value, I think both of them are such unique opportunities for you to learn about yourself as well. I am a very short tempered when it comes to like I'm strongly opinionated. I'm also very short tempered. So having conversations where it's I would say it's someone's trying to counter my statement or my view on something, I do have to take with a pinch of salt, because I need to accept the fact that I may not be right in every circumstance. And that's the beauty of having a co-founder. When you are jumping into a solo business, I think you might not get the right questions or the right challenges of your own thoughts. And I think when if you have a capable co-founder who doesn't step away from, I would say, countering your statements or countering your beliefs, then you might not get the best co-founder who will help you scale your business. And it might come to a point where you might find disagreements so high that you may want to part ways. But at that point, you have to think of the business rather than yourself. That is the business going to be benefited with this arrangement, or is it just you thinking where's my peace of mind at? And there have been points where even with my purpose path co-founder, him and I have had a lot of disagreements where we both come to a man like, is this all worth it? And at that point we both have to agree, yes, this is worth it because the business has done well. And it's only because of our co-foundership and the way that we are, which is argumentative or even challenging each other. And in some days he might put himself down, and the other days I might put myself down. So I think if you or your co-founder or co-founders balance it out and not put the point where I'm going to be the dominant person, you have to be submissive, I think at that point is when even the business doesn't benefit from that. So as long as you're a sensible person and you know the fact that the world always requires a balance, if you tilt the balance, even the world will collapse. So in this case, what's a business? So my recommendation to anyone else, even who would be hearing this, is be a sensible person. Even if you're dominating, even if you're short-tempered, even if you're like a crazy, like, Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg type hero who can create a revolutionary product, you do need to balance. You can't just fight every battle thinking that you're the one who's going to be the savior. You cannot be. Like, you cannot solve every problem. So you have to let the other person lead as well.
Want to take these last couple minutes talk about podcasting. What's your thesis on podcasting and why are you bullish on it?
I personally am a fan of podcasts. I have been listening to it since I don't know. I personally don't know the history of how podcasts started, and that's something I should be doing immediately. But let's say from the time
With
that I started.
radio.
Sorry.
With radio.
With radio, pretty much. If yeah, from the context of it, it sounds exactly right. But the term, I would say, and the way that it became very popular in streaming, I would say I started hearing it in 2017 or 2016, realistically, when I first started using Spotify and I saw a podcasting section there. Since then, I've been hearing it, and I've always had a wish of my own to start a podcast. And I'm hoping that over the next couple of weeks, I'm preparing on launching something for myself and my in the podcasting world for myself too. But the way I'm bullish about it as a business or as a revenue generator for not just agencies like mine, but also for individuals like yourself who are doing a fantastic job and, like, just creating every day. Podcast is a great way to, like, connect. And if we are now distanced in the world where people are now traveling at all times, like even in the point where I've wanted to record a couple of random fun episodes with my friends, it's been a mission and a half to even arrange that, right? Because you have to be in the same place in order to have a good recording. But right now, the way we're doing it, podcasts are still authentic, they're still raw, and they're still creative. So I think the reason why I'm bullish of it is because people want to connect, people want to communicate. They're just hesitant because of the barrier locations can create. But if people understand the beauty and the power of connecting even digitally via podcasts and just creating for the authentic reason, podcasts as a market will grow even bigger, no matter whatever people's, I would say, drawbacks on it are.
Where can we find out more about you?
I definitely do post a lot on LinkedIn, and I do try to be active a bit on Twitter. If people want to reach out to me to build agencies, to connect on collaborations for agencies, on white labels, or even growing the product ideas, they can always reach out to me there.
And I am Charles Cormier, host of Founder Wisdom Podcast. Thank you for tuning in today.